Good morning, 5th grade. Today we're going to continue reading in Homer P. Fig, chapter 33 and 34. Before we get started, we have a quick write. It says, describe a time when someone you love disappointed you. What did he or she do? How did you respond? Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. Our focus question for today is, what message does the author want to convey about honesty and lying? And the standard that we're working on today is determining the theme from details in the text. Our vocabulary words are mutineer, and that is a soldier who refuses to obey orders. And so these guys are mutineers. The second word is smolder, and that's when a fire is slowly burning out. You can just see the smoke, but not any flames. And then the last one is forage cap, and that's the type of hat that some soldiers in the military wear. All right, turn the page and let's get ready to read on page 187 at the beginning of chapter 33. And we're going to be using our CSPS strategy to track our thinking as we read. Let's read. Just before dawn, I am awakened by a tall, skinny soldier who finds me sleeping near the smoldering campfire. Is it really you? He asked, prodding my shoulder. Is it really Homer Fig? They said a boy named Fig. At first, I did not recognize him. So changed is he. It's me, Webster B. Willow, he says. Formerly a clergyman. Formerly acting on behalf of your guardian, Mr. Brewster. Formerly robbed and abandoned by the beautiful Kate Nibley and her so-called brother. Now enlisted for my sins as Private Willow of the 5th Maine, and come to beg for your forgiveness in case I am killed in the fighting. He removes his forage cap and looks at the ground as if ashamed to meet my eyes. It is I who was robbed and abandoned, I remind him, sitting up. Okay, we'll stop right there because we have information about our character and our setting. We know that Mr. Willow has found Homer, and he tells him that he has enlisted in the army because he feels so bad about what he did to Homer. So in box 1A, we would write, Mr. Willow joined the army and found Homer to apologize. But Homer is not very forgiving. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for 1B. And for the quote, we would write down this quote in the middle of page 187. Now enlisted for my sins as Private Willow of the 5th Maine, and come to beg for your forgiveness in case I am killed in the fighting. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the setting. And for this setting, we know that it's morning, and Homer is beside the Union campfire in Gettysburg. So in 2A, we would write, Homer wakes up the next morning by a Union campfire in Gettysburg. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And we'll write down this first sentence on page 187. Just before dawn, I am awakened by a tall, skinny soldier who finds me sleeping near the smoldering campfire. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. Let's go ahead and turn the page and continue to read to find the problem and solution. Top of page 188. He nods miserably. You tried to warn me, but I was a fool. Still a fool, no doubt. Mr. Brewster trusted me to look after you, and I failed to do so. How long were you married? He shudders. A few hours. long enough to know I've been duped. Frank and Kate vanished as soon as we departed the ship. I searched for them on Park Avenue, presented myself at the Nibley mansion like a fool, still hoping they'd been separated by accident, and was told enough to glean the truth. Their real name, whatever it is, cannot be Nibley. "How did you find me?" I asked, still a little groggy from sleep. Someone mentioned a boy named Fig searching for his brother. To be truthful, I debated most of the night whether or not I should make myself known to you. I still ain't found Harold. Private Willow shifts uncomfortably and clears his skinny throat. That's the other thing I have to tell you. After I was mustered in New York joining this regiment, I briefly met another new recruit named Harold Fig. We were on the same troop train for part of the journey. He looks a lot like you, but larger, of course. I recognized him at a glance. "You met my brother? Where is he? Did you say I was coming to get him?" Private Willow shakes his head in misery. I failed to confess to him my association with you out of shame and despair. "I don't care about that," I say, leaping to my feet. "Where's Harold?" Private Willow finally looks me in the eye. "He's with Colonel Chamberlain's men, the 20th Maine. They are marching from Hanover and should be here in a few hours' time." It takes a moment for me to understand what he's saying. So Harold wasn't in Gettysburg yesterday when it all started. He ain't been in the battle yet. He ain't been wounded or killed. All right, and we'll stop right there because we have information about a problem and a potential solution. And so for our problem, we know that Mr. Willow met Harold, but he was too ashamed to tell him that Homer was looking for him. So in 3A, we will write, Mr. Willow met Harold, but he did not tell Harold that Homer was looking for him because he was too ashamed of how he treated Homer. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for 3B. Private Willow shakes his head in misery. Oh, 3B. You need to write down this quote at the bottom of page 188 to 189. Private Willow shakes his head in misery. I failed to confess to him my association with you, out of shame and despair. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for box 4. And because of his conversation with Mr. Willow, Homer realizes that Harold is still alive. He was not in the battle and he hasn't been wounded. So in box 4, we will write, Homer is relieved to find out that Harold was not in the battle yesterday. This gives him hope that Harold is still alive. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we would write down this quote on page 189. So Harold wasn't in Gettysburg yesterday when it all started. Perfect. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. It says, what does Mr. Willow's confession to Homer reveal about the theme of the text? Use evidence from the text to support your answer.